History isn't just written in books. It's buried right under our feet, waiting for a lucky break. You might think the greatest scientific discoveries come from years of careful planning, but some of the most world-changing finds were pure accidents. Imagine this. You're digging a foundation for a new house, mining for coal, or just taking a walk along the beach, and suddenly you stumble upon a bone that rewrites everything we thought we knew about the past. Today, we're digging into the incredible stories of fossils that no one was even looking for. Think about it. The most important clues to our planet's history were unfound in a pristine lab or a planned archaeological dig. They were unearthed by farmers, construction workers, and curious kids. These accidental discoveries are like nature's surprise party, revealing secrets that scientists didn't even know they should be asking questions about. From the bones of our own ancient relatives to the remains of terrifying prehistoric monsters, these chance encounters have completely reshaped our understanding of life on Earth. Let's start with us. Humans. Some of the most crucial early human fossils were found by people who had no idea what they were looking at. Take the famous discovery in the Neander Valley in Germany back in 1856. Workers were clearing out a cave when they found a strange-looking skull cap and some thick bones. They thought they belonged to a bear, or maybe a deformed soldier from an old war. It wasn't until later that a local teacher realized these were the remains of an entirely different kind of human. This accidental find gave a name to the Neanderthals and forced the scientific world to accept that we were the only humans to have walked the Earth. It shattered the neat, tidy story of human evolution and opened up a whole new, more complex chapter. Then there's the Tong child from South Africa. In 1924, a quarry worker noticed a fossilized skull embedded in a rock he was about to blast. He saved it, and it eventually made its way to anatomist Raymond Dart. Dart spent months meticulously chipping away the stone to reveal the face of a young hominid, an early human ancestor. This was Australopithecus africanus, a creature that walked upright millions of years before anyone thought possible. The scientific establishment initially rejected his claims, but this accidental find proved to be a critical missing link, connecting our ape-like ancestors to modern humans. These weren't planned expeditions. They were moments of pure dumb luck that changed everything. Of course, it's not just human fossils. What about the monsters? The massive predators that once ruled the planet? Many of them were also found by accident. Picture Mary Anning, a young girl from a poor family in early 19th century England. She wasn't a scientist. She sold fossils she found on the beach to tourists to help her family survive. But one day, after a storm, she uncovered the complete skeleton of an ichthyosaur, a giant marine reptile that looked like a dolphin-lizard hybrid. Later, she found a plesiosaur, another sea monster that defied all explanation at the time. Her accidental discoveries helped lay the groundwork for the field of paleontology and proved that Earth was once inhabited by creatures straight out of a fantasy novel. Fast forward to the American West. The legendary bone wars between paleontologists Edward Cope and Othniel Marsh were fueled by accidental finds. Railroad workers laying tracks across Wyoming and Colorado kept stumbling upon enormous bones. These weren't just any bones. They were the remains of dinosaurs like Stegosaurus, Allosaurus, and Brontosaurus. The sheer scale of these creatures was unimaginable. A simple railroad project accidentally uncovered a lost world, revealing an ecosystem dominated by giants, and forever changing our perception of fear and dominance in prehistory. These animals weren't just big. They redefined what it meant to be a top predator. And it's not just about the bones. What about the world they lived in? Plant fossils too have emerged from the most unexpected places, offering a snapshot of ancient climates. For centuries, coal miners have been finding beautiful, intricate impressions of leaves, ferns, and tree bark deep underground. These fossils, preserved in coal seams, are the ghostly remains of vast, swampy forests from the Carboniferous period over 300 million years ago. They tell us that places that are now cold and temperate were once tropical jungles. These accidental discoveries by miners weren't just curiosities. They were direct evidence of continental drift and dramatic climate change over geological time. They gave us a library of ancient ecosystems, all found by people just trying to do their jobs. So why do these accidental discoveries matter so much? Because they shake things up. Science loves patterns and predictions, but these random finds expose the gaps in our knowledge. They force scientists to admit, wow, we didn't see that coming. When a farmer in China digs up a feathered dinosaur, it doesn't just add a new species to the list. It completely upends our theories about the relationship between dinosaurs and birds. It forces us to redraw the family tree of life. These discoveries prove that knowledge isn't always a straight line. Sometimes the most profound insights come from a detour you never planned to take. Evolutionary science, in particular, has been supercharged by randomness. It's not always the giant T-Rex skull that provides the biggest clue. Sometimes it's a tiny, overlooked fossil of a small mammal that lived in the shadow of the dinosaurs, or the fossilized pollen that tells us what plants an ancient creature ate. These small, accidental finds provide crucial details about behavior, adaptation, and survival. They help us understand not just what these animals looked like, but how they lived, how they interacted, and how they adapted to a changing world. Each unexpected fossil is a new piece of the puzzle, revealing a more detailed and dynamic picture of the past. But let's not forget the human element in all of this. Imagine being that quarry worker who finds a skull that looks human, but not quite. There's a moment of surprise, of doubt, maybe even a little fear. Then comes curiosity. These discoveries weren't just about bones. They were about people having their entire worldview challenged. For scientists, it meant having to go back to the drawing board, to question theories they had spent their entire careers building. The initial reaction was often skepticism and ridicule. But the evidence, unearthed by accident, was undeniable. It forced a humility upon the scientific community, a recognition that they didn't have all the answers. This is what makes science so exciting. It's not a rigid, unchanging set of facts. It's a living, breathing process of discovery, and accidents are a huge part of that. The greatest breakthroughs don't always happen in a multi-million-dollar laboratory. They happen in a field, a quarry, a cave, or on a beach. It reinforces the idea that anyone, anywhere, can contribute to our collective knowledge. You just have to keep your eyes open. This principle of serendipity, of finding something valuable by chance, is a powerful engine for progress. So, as we look back, we see that our understanding of history and life on Earth is a beautiful tapestry woven from both deliberate research and sheer beautiful luck. The past has a funny way of revealing itself, often when we least expect it, through the cracks in our daily lives. These accidental discoveries remind us that the story of our planet is still being written, and the next groundbreaking chapter could be unearthed by anyone, at any moment. It's a powerful thought. Our world is full of hidden wonders, and our grasp of history is constantly evolving, shaped not just by what we set out to find, but by the magnificent surprises we stumble upon along the way. Imagine an ordinary farmer's field, just like any other. The sun rises and sets, seasons change, and the land yields its crops year after year. It's a place of quiet routine, a landscape so familiar it feels like it holds no secrets. But what if I told you that beneath the surface of such an unassuming place, a story 40,000 years old was waiting to be told? History isn't always found in ancient ruins or through grand, expensive expeditions. Sometimes it reveals itself by pure chance, in the last place anyone would think to look. One day, a routine activity, perhaps plowing the soil or digging a ditch, turns into a moment that changes everything. A strange object is unearthed. It's not a modern piece of trash or a forgotten farm tool. It feels different, heavier, ancient. As experts are called in, the truth begins to dawn. This isn't just old, it's prehistoric. The discovery sends ripples through the scientific community, challenging every assumption about what lies beneath our feet. This quiet field, it turns out, was once a stage for a drama of human survival that played out 40 millennia ago. So what was life actually like 40,000 years ago? Forget the simple caveman stereotypes. The evidence uncovered from sites like this paints a picture of a sophisticated and resilient people. These weren't brutish creatures struggling for survival. They were intelligent, adaptable humans, our direct ancestors. They lived in a world dominated by the last ice age, a landscape far harsher and more dangerous than ours today. Giant beasts roamed the land, and the climate was unpredictable. Survival wasn't guaranteed. It depended on keen observation, intricate knowledge of the natural world, and most importantly, on cooperation. They moved in small, tight-knit groups, following animal migrations and seasonal plants. Every day was a test of their ingenuity and their bond with one another. When we look at the artifacts they left behind, we see more than just primitive tools. We see brilliance. The stone blades are not just sharpened rocks. They are masterfully crafted, showing a deep understanding of physics and materials. Each flake was struck with precision to create a razor-sharp edge. They created specialized tools for hunting, butchering, preparing hides, and woodworking. We find bone needles, suggesting they tailored warm, fitted clothing from animal skins to survive the brutal cold. These aren't just objects. They are expressions of a complex mind, capable of planning, problem-solving, and abstract thought. They were thinking, strategizing, and innovating in ways that were, until recently, thought to be exclusive to much later periods of human history. Their resilience is truly staggering. For thousands of years, these early humans endured dramatic climate shifts, from freezing glacial periods to warmer intervals. They faced predators that would terrify us today: cave lions, giant bears, and packs of wolves. Yet, they didn't just survive, they thrived. They developed sophisticated hunting strategies, likely using their knowledge of animal behavior to plan ambushes and drives. They learned which plants were edible, which were medicinal, and which were poisonous. This deep well of knowledge, passed down through generations, was the foundation upon which all later human cultures were built. Their ability to adapt to nearly any environment is the reason we as a species are here today. But it's so easy to get lost in the science and forget the human element. Behind every fossilized bone, every stone tool, there was a person. A person who felt the cold, who feared the dark, who loved their family. Imagine a small community huddled around a fire, sharing food and stories. Children playing, learning the skills they would need to survive. Elders passing on their wisdom. These weren't just specimens. They were people with hopes, fears, and social lives. Archaeology, at its best, doesn't just uncover objects. It reconnects us with the profound shared emotions that link us to our most distant ancestors. The artifacts are clues to their lives, their beliefs, and their humanity. And a discovery like the one in our farmer's field can completely rewrite the history books. For decades, scientists have relied on established theories about how and when early humans spread across the globe. But a single well-dated site can challenge everything. Suddenly, we might find that humans were in a certain region thousands of years earlier than we thought. Or that they possessed technologies we believed were invented much later. Prehistory is not a static, dusty subject. It's a dynamic and exciting field of science that evolves with every new shovel of dirt. Each discovery is a new chapter in the epic story of humanity, forcing us to rethink what we thought we knew. This brings us to a fascinating and slightly unsettling idea: the fragile line between the past and the present. We live our modern lives on top of countless layers of history. Our cities are built over ancient settlements. Our highways pave over migratory paths that are thousands of years old. And our farms cultivate soil that holds the remnants of forgotten worlds. We are often completely unaware of the deep history right under our own feet. This farmer's field is a powerful reminder that the past is not gone. It's just buried. It's a silent world coexisting with our own, waiting for a chance encounter to bring its stories back into the light. So what does this all mean for us today? It's a reminder of our deep connection to the past. The choices and adaptations made by our prehistoric ancestors have shaped who we are. Our ability to cooperate, our instinct to innovate, our capacity for resilience, these traits were forged in the crucible of the Ice Age. Understanding their struggles and their triumphs gives us a profound perspective on our own lives and the challenges we face as a global community. In a way, by studying them, we are studying the very origins of ourselves. In the end, this story is a lesson in humility and wonder. History doesn't always come with a grand announcement. It doesn't always reside in monumental pyramids or famous battlefields. Sometimes the greatest stories of human endurance, ingenuity, and survival are found quietly waiting in a farmer's field, where no one was even looking. It reminds us to stay curious, to look closer at the world around us, because you never know what extraordinary secrets might be hiding in the most ordinary of places. Have you ever made a mistake that turned out to be a good thing? It sounds strange, but some of the biggest breakthroughs in human history didn't start with a genius plan. They started with a complete accident, a total misjudgment, or what looked like a massive failure. It turns out that human error has been one of the most powerful engines for discovery, pushing us into new territories we never even intended to explore. Think about it. Every time someone messed up, they accidentally opened a door to knowledge no one was even looking for. This isn't just a modern thing. It's a story as old as humanity itself. Let's rewind the clock way back to prehistory. Imagine our earliest ancestors. They weren't following a manual. Life was a constant process of trial and error. When they first tried to sharpen a rock to make a tool, how many times do you think they failed? How many times did a stone shatter or create a useless shape? But in that process, they might have discovered that a certain type of rock, like flint, breaks in a predictable way, creating sharp edges perfect for cutting. What started as a failure became a technological revolution. Same goes for fire. At first, it was probably a terrifying force of nature. But through accidents, maybe a lightning strike setting a tree ablaze, they learned to control it. They likely failed countless times trying to create it themselves. But each failed attempt taught them something new about friction, tinder, and fuel. These weren't just mistakes. They were lessons in physics and chemistry, learned the hard way. Every survival technique, from identifying edible plants to building shelters, was perfected through a long history of failures. What looked like a setback was actually innovation in disguise. This pattern of accidental discovery is even more dramatic in the world of archaeology. For centuries, people stumbled upon strange bones and weirdly shaped stones. For a long time, these were dismissed as curiosities, maybe the remains of mythical giants or dragons. Fossils of our own ancient relatives were found, but often misidentified or ignored. Think about the first Neanderthal skull, discovered in the 19th century. Initially, many scientists dismissed it as the skeleton of a diseased modern human, a pathological specimen, not a representative of an entirely different kind of human. It took decades of further discoveries and fierce debate before the scientific community accepted that we were the only humans to have walked the earth. These early misjudgments, while they delayed our understanding, eventually forced researchers to completely rethink the story of human evolution. Each mistake cleared the way for a more accurate and far more interesting picture of our past. And it wasn't just fossils that were misinterpreted. We also had some seriously wrong assumptions about our ancestors' intelligence. For a long time, prehistoric humans were depicted as brutish, simple-minded cavemen. The prevailing idea was that they were just surviving, with little capacity for abstract thought, art, or complex social structures. But then, we found the cave paintings at Lascaux and Chauvet's stunning, sophisticated works of art created tens of thousands of years ago. We found evidence of elaborate burial rituals, suggesting they had beliefs about the afterlife. We discovered musical instruments, like bone flutes, that were over 40,000 years old. Each of these discoveries shattered the old, simplistic view. Our ancestors weren't just surviving. They were creating, communicating, and thinking symbolically. They planned sophisticated hunts, built communities, and had rich cultural lives. The mistake was underestimating them. Correcting that mistake has revealed a human story that is far more profound and creative than we ever imagined. Another huge area where errors led to breakthroughs was in dating our discoveries. Getting the timeline of human history right is incredibly difficult. Early methods for dating fossils and artifacts were often unreliable, leading to some very confused timelines. For a long time, researchers had puzzle pieces from different eras all mixed up, trying to make them fit. For instance, different hominin species were thought to have lived millions of years apart, but revised dating showed they actually coexisted, and maybe even interacted. The development of new techniques, like radiocarbon dating and later, potassium-argon dating, revolutionized the field. Every time a timeline was reevaluated and corrected, it didn't just tweak the details. It often caused a major rewrite of entire chapters of human history. These corrections forced scientists to abandon old theories and build new ones based on a more accurate sequence of events. The errors weren't failures. They were necessary steps toward a clearer understanding of our deep past. And then there's the role of pure dumb luck, or as scientists like to call it, serendipity. So many key discoveries were never planned. They happened because someone was in the right place at the right time, with the curiosity to notice something others had missed. The famous fossil Lucy was discovered because paleontologist Donald Johanson just happened to glance at a gully he had walked past many times before, spotting a tiny fragment of arm bone. That one chance observation led to the discovery of one of the most complete early hominin skeletons ever found. The incredible cave paintings of Altamira in Spain were found by a young girl who happened to look up at the ceiling while her father was excavating the cave floor. He was looking for tools. She found a masterpiece. These stories show that progress in science isn't always about following a rigid plan. It's often about staying curious, being open to the unexpected, and having the wisdom to investigate something that just seems a little bit out of place. When you look at this long history of trial and error, you start to see a deeper pattern. Learning from mistakes isn't just a scientific method. It's a fundamental part of our psychological evolution. The ability to fail, recognize the failure, and then adapt our approach is a powerful problem-solving skill. This trait is what allowed our ancestors to survive in constantly changing environments. When a hunting strategy failed, they didn't just give up. They tried something new. When a food source disappeared, they experimented with others. This adaptability, forged in the crucible of countless failures, became a cornerstone of human survival and eventually, our cultural development. We are a species that learns by doing, and often, that means learning by messing up first. Our brains are literally wired to grow from our errors. So, what was once seen as a dead end often became the critical turning point in our journey. A fossil that didn't fit the current theory, a tool that looked wrong, a timeline that made no sense. These were the things that forced us to stop and think. They were the anomalies that pushed us to ask better, deeper questions. Instead of just asking, "What is this?" we started asking, "What if our whole framework is wrong?" This shift is where true breakthroughs happen. It's just the moment we move beyond just collecting facts and start fundamentally rethinking our understanding of the world. Each mistake, each wrong turn has been a stepping stone, leading us to a more complex and nuanced view of who we are and where we come from. This reveals a profound truth about the nature of progress. We like to think of progress as a straight line, always moving upward and forward. But the real history of human advancement is a messy, zigzagging path filled with setbacks, revisions, and corrections. It's a story of persistence, not perfection. Our journey as a species isn't defined by our ability to always get it right, but by our incredible resilience and our willingness to get back up after we get it wrong. Every artifact in a museum and every chapter in a history book is a testament to this process. They don't just represent moments of genius. They represent the culmination of countless failures and the enduring human spirit that refuses to be discouraged by them. So what's the deeper lesson in all of this for us today? It is that our ancient past teaches us a timeless truth. Mistakes are not just obstacles to be avoided. They are opportunities to be embraced. They are the raw material of learning and innovation. Every great discovery, whether it's an ancient tool or a modern technology, reflects our collective willingness to try, to fail, to learn, and to rethink everything we thought we knew. The story of humanity is the story of turning our biggest blunders into our greatest achievements. It reminds us that in our own lives, the moments when we feel lost or feel like we've failed might just be the moments when we are closest to a brand new discovery. Have you ever wondered how we know so much about our ancient past? You might picture teams of archaeologists meticulously digging in the desert, following ancient maps. But what if I told you that some of the most world-changing discoveries in history were found completely by accident? History, it turns out, isn't just written by experts. It's often stumbled upon by farmers, builders, and even kids just out playing. These are the stories of being in the wrong place at exactly the right time. Let's travel back to 1940. A French teenager named Marcel Ravidat was out walking his dog, Robot. Suddenly, Robot disappeared down a mysterious hole in the ground. Worried, Marcel and his friends decided to investigate. What they found wasn't just a lost dog, but a hidden entrance to a massive cave system. The walls were covered in breathtaking paintings of animals, horses, bulls, and stags that hadn't been seen by human eyes for over 17,000 years. This was the discovery of the Lascaux Caves, a stunning gallery of prehistoric art that completely reshaped our understanding of early human creativity. It wasn't found by a team of historians. It was found because a dog chased a rabbit. This pattern repeats itself throughout history. In 1879, a Spanish nobleman and amateur archaeologist was exploring a cave with his young daughter, Maria. While he was busy digging for tools on the cave floor, Maria, being shorter, looked up. "Look, Papa, oxen!" she cried. He had been so focused on the ground that he'd missed the incredible, vibrant paintings of bison on the ceiling. This was the Altamira Cave, the first prehistoric cave art to be discovered. Again, it took a child's wandering eyes to make a discovery that the experts had literally overlooked. Sometimes these accidental finds aren't art, but armies. In 1974, a group of farmers in China were digging a well. As they dug deeper, their shovels hit something hard. It wasn't a rock. It was the head of a life-sized clay soldier. They had accidentally unearthed the terracotta army, an entire legion of thousands of unique soldiers, horses, and chariots built to guard China's first emperor in the afterlife. For over 2,000 years, this silent army had stood guard, completely unknown to the world, just a few feet beneath a farmer's field. Imagine going out to dig for water and instead finding one of the greatest archaeological wonders of all time. But what turns a simple accident into a world-changing discovery? It's human curiosity. When those farmers found the clay head, they didn't just throw it away. They reported it. When Marcel Rabidat's dog vanished, he and his friends chose to go after it. The accident is just the beginning. It's the choice to ask, what is this? That truly unlocks the past. Without that moment of curiosity, the terracotta army might still be buried, and the Lascaux paintings might still be hidden in darkness. These chance finds have often forced scientists and historians to completely rewrite what they thought they knew. For decades, experts believed that early humans were confined to specific regions. But then, construction workers, miners, and even casual hikers started finding fossils and tools in the most unexpected places, high in mountain ranges, deep in previously unexplored caves, or on remote islands. Each of these discoveries pushed back the timeline of human migration and proved that our ancestors were far more adaptable and widespread than we ever gave them credit for. Our family tree is much bigger and more complex than we imagined, and we often learn that from a fossil found during a road construction project. Even mistakes can lead to breakthroughs. Sometimes an artifact is misidentified for years, sitting in a dusty museum drawer until a researcher with fresh eyes realizes its true significance. Other times, a theory that turns out to be wrong leads investigators down a path that reveals something even more important. Science isn't a straight line to the truth. It's a messy, winding road filled with wrong turns that, ironically, sometimes lead you exactly where you need to be. Being wrong is often the first step to being right. Think about the world around you. The field you drive past, the riverbank where you walk your dog, the very ground beneath your city streets. These everyday landscapes are built on layers of forgotten history. Roman villas have been found under supermarkets in England. Viking ships have been unearthed during the expansion of a city harbor in Norway. The modern world is just the latest chapter in a very, very long book, and the previous pages are hiding just beneath our feet. We are literally walking on history every single day. Sometimes it's a tragedy that preserves the past. The eruption of Mount Vesuvius in 79 AD buried the city of Pompeii in ash, freezing a moment in time. But this kind of accidental preservation happens on a smaller scale too. A sudden fire in an ancient settlement, a collapsed cave roof, or a person who fell into a bog. These sudden events can create accidental time capsules. We find meals left half-eaten, tools dropped in the middle of a task, and human remains that tell us not just how people died, but how they lived, what they ate, and even what they were feeling. These accidental snapshots of daily life are incredibly rare and provide a human connection to the past that bones and stones alone cannot. These discoveries have a profound psychological impact. They remind us that history is not a closed book. It's not all figured out. For every discovery made, there are countless more still waiting to be found. It challenges our sense of certainty and reminds us that our understanding of the past is constantly evolving. There is a certain humility in realizing that a farmer digging for a well can know more about ancient China than all the historians in the world. Just for a moment. This brings us to the importance of timing. A discovery made in 1850 might mean very little. But that same discovery, re-examined today with DNA analysis, carbon dating, and advanced imaging technology, could unlock secrets that were previously invisible. Old finds are constantly revealing new meanings. The timing of a discovery is just as crucial as the location. The right question has to be asked at the right time, with the right tools to answer it. In the end, the story of humanity is not just a tale written by scholars and explorers. It's a story co-authored by chance and coincidence, by farmers, children, and construction workers. These accidental discoveries do more than just fill in the gaps in our timelines. They reconnect us to the fragile, unpredictable, and incredible journey of being human. They remind us that hidden just beneath the surface of our ordinary world are extraordinary stories, waiting for the next lucky accident to bring them to light. So next time you're out for a walk, or digging in your garden, keep your eyes open. You never know. You might just be in the wrong place at the right time to uncover the next great chapter of human history. Have you ever wondered what truly launched human history? It wasn't the first tool or the first spark of fire. It was something far more fundamental, a question. The story of humanity didn't begin with an answer, but with a nagging sense of curiosity that pushed our ancestors to stare into the darkness and ask, what if? Before we had advanced technology, we had questions. Curiosity was the engine that drove early humans out of their comfort zones. It was the force that made them challenge the primal fear of the unknown. While other species relied on instinct alone, we started to wonder. This shift from pure instinct to intentional inquiry is what set us on a completely different evolutionary path. Think about the first questions that changed everything. Imagine an early human huddled against the cold, watching a lightning strike set a tree ablaze. Instead of just running away, someone somewhere must have thought, what is that light? Can I hold it? What happens if I bring it closer? This simple, terrifying question led to mastering fire. It wasn't just about survival. It was about understanding and controlling the world. The same goes for tools. An early human might have picked up a sharp rock out of necessity. But curiosity asked, what happens if I hit this rock with another? Can I make it sharper? What else can I use this for? This spirit of experimentation turned a simple rock into a spear, an axe, and the foundation of all technology. Curiosity turned instinct into intention, transforming our relationship with nature from one of reaction to one of interaction. So many of our greatest breakthroughs were actually happy accidents, born from a mind that was simply wandering and wondering. Penicillin, the microwave, even post-it notes, these were discovered when someone was looking for something else entirely. Our prehistoric ancestors lived this reality every single day. They weren't following a blueprint for civilization. They were exploring, tinkering, and making countless mistakes. Imagine them trying different plants. Is this one edible? What about the leaves? The root? Many of those experiments likely ended badly. But through trial and error, they built a vast knowledge of botany and medicine. Every failed attempt wasn't a dead end. It was a data point. It was a lesson learned. These mistakes were the stepping stones to revolutionary discoveries that ensured our survival and eventual flourishing. The greatest innovations weren't planned. They were stumbled upon by those who were brave enough to get a little lost. This relentless questioning didn't just change our environment, it physically changed our brains. A mind that constantly asks questions is a mind that builds new neural pathways. It gets better at problem solving, pattern recognition, and abstract thought. As our ancestors wrestled with more complex questions, like how to track migrating herds or predict the changing seasons, their brains evolved to handle more sophisticated challenges. Imagination and foresight became powerful evolutionary advantages. The ability to think, what if we store food for the winter? Or what if we build a raft to cross that river? Allowed us to plan for the future, not just react to the present. Our curiosity gave us the ability to see not just what is, but what could be. This mental leap, driven by a questioning mind, is arguably the most significant development in our species' history. And it wasn't always about necessity. Long before written history, humans were exploring for the sheer sake of understanding. They ventured into deep, dark caves, not just for shelter, but perhaps to see what was inside. They decorated those caves with stunning art, asking questions about their world and their place in it. They sailed across vast open seas with no guarantee of what lay on the other side. Why? Because the need to know is as fundamental to us as the need for food and water. This exploration expanded our world, connected disparate groups, and spread ideas and culture across continents. We didn't just want to survive in the world. We wanted to understand it. That deep-seated drive for knowledge, even when it served no immediate practical purpose, is a hallmark of our species. Our journey from simple observation to complex knowledge was fueled entirely by curiosity. Early humans were brilliant observers. They watched animals to learn hunting techniques and migration patterns. They watched the stars to navigate and mark the passage of time. They watched the seasons to know when to plant and when to harvest. But observation alone isn't enough. It was curiosity that turned those observations into a system of knowledge, the very first form of science. Asking why transformed everything. Why do the stars move across the sky in a predictable pattern? Why do the seasons change? Why do some plants heal and others harm? This process of observing, questioning, and testing hypotheses is the scientific method in its most ancient form. It's how we began to decode the rules of the universe. Curiosity didn't just shape our tools and our science. It shaped our souls. As humans began to ask deeper, more abstract questions, our cultures and societies became richer and more complex. Questions about life, death, and what lies beyond led to the first rituals, burial practices, and spiritual beliefs. When our ancestors started burying their dead with tools and ornaments, they were asking, is this the end? Or is there another journey ahead? The emergence of art, music, and symbols all stemmed from the need to express ideas that couldn't be spoken to explore our inner worlds, just as we explored the outer one. These cultural developments weren't just decorative. They created shared meaning, identity, and social cohesion. They were the answers, or perhaps the continued questions, to what it means to be human. Curiosity built our communities and our beliefs from the ground up. Even today, our understanding of the past is constantly being rewritten by curiosity. Every major archaeological find, from Göbekli Tepe to the discovery of new hominid species, happened because someone dared to ask an unexpected question or look in a place no one had thought to look before. Archaeologists and paleontologists are professional curiosity experts. They challenge old assumptions and dig deeper, both literally and figuratively. We once thought agriculture was the prerequisite for complex society, but discoveries like Göbekli Tepe suggest that massive, organized religious structures may have come first. We thought the human family tree was a straight line, but new fossil evidence reveals a much more complicated, intertwined story. The past is not a static, settled fact. It's a dynamic story that is still being uncovered, all because we never stop asking questions about where we came from. Of course, being curious has always been risky. The same impulse that led to finding new food sources could also lead to ingesting poison. The drive to explore new lands could lead to hostile encounters or getting hopelessly lost. For every brilliant discovery, there were likely countless failures and dangers. Curiosity was, and still is, a double-edged sword. But here's the crucial part. Without that risk, we would have gone nowhere. Progress would have stalled. We would have remained a species huddled in fear, never venturing beyond the familiar. The reward of knowledge, of advancement, of seeing what's over the next hill has always outweighed the risk of the unknown. Every great leap forward required someone to take that first, uncertain step. Failure was not the opposite of success. It was an essential part of the process. This ancient legacy of curiosity is still very much alive within us. It's the same fundamental impulse that drives a scientist to spend decades trying to cure a disease, an astronaut to venture into the void of space, or an artist to create something the world has never seen before. Modern innovation is just the latest chapter in a very, very old story. The same spark that made our ancestors wonder about the stars now powers the telescopes that let us see to the edge of the universe. The same impulse that led them to mix pigments on a cave wall now drives our digital artists and filmmakers. The human story is a continuous thread of curiosity, stretching from the first ever question to the challenges we face today. We are the direct inheritors of that bold, questioning spirit. So, what happens when we stop asking questions? What happens when a society discourages curiosity and demands certainty instead? History shows us the answer: stagnation. Progress halts. We become trapped by dogma and fear. The story of humanity is a powerful reminder that curiosity is not a luxury. It is the essential ingredient for growth, adaptation, and survival. It's what keeps us moving forward. In the end, the past wasn't forged by certainty. It was changed forever by doubt, by wonder, by the courage to say, I don't know, but I'm going to find out. Every single monumental shift in our history, from mastering fire to walking on the moon, began with one simple, powerful act. Someone dared to ask why. If this journey into the power of curiosity sparked something in you, help us keep asking the big questions. The best way you can support this channel is by hitting that subscribe button and giving this video a like. It truly helps us reach more curious minds just like you. Thanks for watching.